Hello and welcome everybody to SQL Friday. Today we have SQL Friday number 54, which is the last of the season. So it's season finale with Manpreet Singh, who is going to present about Power Apps and Power Automate. Power Automate used to be Flows or Flow. So some smart marketing people in Microsoft decides to change names, but if you heard Flow, that is now Power Automate. So we will see how to do that on Office 365, and I'm very happy that you're here, Manpreet. Welcome to SQL Friday.
Thank you, Magnus. Thank you, Sal, for having me here on hashtag SQL Friday. Happy to be here.
Cool. The stage is all yours. I'm going to go mute, and then if anyone has any questions, type them in the chat, and I will relay the questions to Manpreet as we go along.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Magnus. So, hey, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, evening. It's super good morning for me. It's morning 6 a.m. at Toronto. I'm joining you from Canada today. Super excited to be here early morning. I'm not a morning person. I think none of our developers are a morning person. It's super thank for us to get awake in the early mornings. But yes, here I am. So thanks for having me here, Magnus, once again. Today we'll be talking about Power Apps and Flows. Many people now know what Power Platform is because it has been not a new technology. It's been 2 years now. It has been like 4 years when I remember it, the preview started. But right now, we are too much. Everybody knows what's a Power App, but people are still not into it. I have known many companies who are still focusing on web applications or they're focusing on how not to use Power Apps. And we always have third-party tools like Nintex and K2 always pitching in their best applications. So Power Apps is still not a good go for many of us companies. But here I am to teach you how easy it is and how we can make an app in next 45 to 60 minutes. So before I start, let me introduce myself. I am Manpreet. I'm an architect at Cognizant Technology Solutions. I'm also a blogger, writer, speaker. I'm an MVP at Office 365 servers. It's been 5 years, I guess. And the process keeps on growing. We keep on coming, trying to make newer technologies very easy for every learner so that they can have their own hands-on. And so while the session is going on, please stop me. I might be sleepy. I might be going faster. Just let me know. Hey, you're going. Just let me know that. And if you have any questions, put it in the chat or unmute yourself. I don't know how it works, Magnus, but or Magnus will let me know if there's any questions. Just let's give it a flow and all do it together. That's the main purpose of it. Okay. So let's talk about the agenda today. Magnus, I think my screen is visible, right?
It is, yes. We see the presentation.
All right, perfect. So I'm going to talk a little about Power Apps and Flows. I think, as I said, everyone is aware of it. We're going to develop an app on the scratch. I'll show you all the tips and tricks how to develop an app with like a normal real case scenario. We'll use SharePoint as a backend. You can use SQL as a backend because it's a SQL Friday. A lot of variations. We'll create a flow. We'll create simple stuff. We'll talk about limitations. That's my favorite part of it because we as developers, we should know what are our limitations on technology or platform we work on. And the questions, I can take it after, I can take it with it, totally up to you. So let's talk about how Power Platform came in the picture. It was never a kind of a product or something. We have always been using out of the box forms in SharePoint, which was miserable. It had nothing to do with the technology. We can't edit them. We can't do them. We can use some CSS here and there. Most powerful was InfoPath in the backend, which was amazing. And I still feel InfoPath is way too much input parameters than we can have it on the Power Platforms. But again, so with the modern era, we needed something growth then and to make more applications building much easier, like a drag and drop offer. Then came the Power Platform, and this was a combination of Power BI, Power Apps, Microsoft Flow slash Automate. They all started coming together and made it a very big platform. And with n number of connectors to connect, like the data sources, it can be SQL, SharePoint, Adobe, workspaces. Just name the product or the technology you want to connect a workflow to or make an app on. You can do it. It's that seamless capability of Power Platform. With that came, so for example, right now I don't have a SQL, I don't have a SharePoint. Don't worry, you have common CDS as your data model services. You can save data in-house in Power Apps. Amazing, right? They have their own in-house capabilities of saving the data on their own servers, which is quite as SQL, basic as SQL. So if you don't have a server or don't have a SharePoint license, you can use your own CDS services, common data model services, along with connectors and gateways to Facebook, to Twitter. As I said, like just name the product or the technology and you have it there. So this is the wrong count. I think people have moved a lot from here. Uh, and they have been growing like crazy, and which is amazing because Power App now I have been seeing while we are hiring, there is a role for Power Apps developer, which you can just imagine how the platform is capable that we are having a role for as a Power App developer. That's amazing. Coming to the session here, like talking about the Power App. So we know what about Power Apps is what it can do. So like let me just reframe it. So Power App is like a wrapper or a UI to create something like new forms or new portals, uh, some data UI models which customers or clients can use, and not only them, even us can use while building an applications over like flows, or I should say like let's talk about Facebook or Twitter. Like we have an application where you want to post, like we will go to a Facebook or Twitter. How about scheduling that? You can use Flow. How about making a repository of all the apps, of all the tweets or all the Facebook tweets? Again, you can have a Power App where a person can input everything. It can go for an approval. Once it approves by a communication team, it can get published to Facebook, Twitter. So if you see, you can make it a platform with different services. It's just not one service. You can connect multiple services, multiple connectors, and make this UI build platform ready for everyone. It's that simple. And what you have to do is not even write a single line of code. No, zero code and an amazing application. Today's application with Power App will be writing a couple of code, which I'll show you why we are writing, what is the major agenda behind. But Power Apps is more of a solution for connecting anything and everything. It's that frequent. It's on the cloud, so we don't need a Visual Studio to connect it or do any major kind of operations. It has its own studio, which comes for free, of course, when you buy a Power App license. You just launch it there and you use it. Excuse me. So the connections I was talking about. Again, the connection doesn't matter what you're using, which platform you're using. It can be connected with just number of clicks, which we are going to see. Code-free apps, as I said, anyone can be a Power App developer. You don't need a computer science, IT, or a Harvard degree to be a Power App developer. That's the purpose of it. The future generation, they're not gonna be like somebody's gonna do the coding, I'm saying, but majority of people are gonna not be doing the codings. So many applications are coming in the market where they are just using drag and drop facilities or just process or just automation of process, how to build something. And if it's that easy, a client might actually come in, pull up their socks and like, okay, let's me develop a Power App. It's that easy. Even a UI handler can do it. Best part of it is it's compatible with both web and mobile. So I don't have to make adjustment to my CSS or HTML or process. It's all compatible by itself. As I said, it comes with a Power App Studio. It's free of cost. Nothing to be buried, nothing to be downloaded. It's on a browser level. And again, we have a data model. If you don't have a database, don't worry. Power Apps will provide you one. So there are three things to can make a Power App. First, which service are you gonna connect to? When I'm using Facebook or Twitter or SharePoint or SQL, just choose that service, build an app on that and publish. That's it. Once you do these three categories, your app is ready to go live. And demo. So I'm not of a very theoretical person. I want to show demo how it works, where it works. And as I said, while showing a demo, if you have any questions, just budge me in. I think my video camera closed. Sorry. So just budge me in, close me in, and I will be there to talk to you. So let's keep a conversation part of it. So let me bring back down my slide here and all right, all right. Zoom in a little. Yeah. All right. So we'll be using SharePoint as a backend. The backend can be anything, SQL, you can call it anything, any backend services. For me, it's gonna be a SharePoint list. If you see, this is a list which I create here. I have a new item, titles, a role, technologies, drop down, and edit link and stuff. So I'll tell you what is edit link is. So when you go to Power Apps, just log into powerappsportal.com. You'll come to the home section here. If you see start from data, you can even start from an Excel online. Like if your data source is an Excel, connect an Excel sheet. Data was SQL Server. Just use one. And I just want to show you the SQL Server because again, this is a SQL Friday. So let it open up while it's opening up. Coming up to that, you have three options. Okay, so you can create a Canvas app, a model-driven app, and a portal. So what's the difference between a Canvas app, a model-driven, and portal? Amazing. Canvas is like the name, the canvas. An artist go and paint something on the canvas. So it's something from the scratch. A similar way for developers, for us, the favorite is Canvas. It's gonna be a blank screen. Now you do what you want to do there. Model driven is something for the businesses. For example, an HR comes in and they have a hey, I want something for a timesheet building or something for an expense management, a portal for that. What model driven apps does it just take your inputs of what an app is and it will make its own application for you. Easy, right? That's where the AI comes in picture. The AI will come, take all your input and create an application for you, which we developers will never like it because we want something it to work in different way. But think about the business or think about the processes. Who doesn't want to put in a lot of effort or a lot of money over a developer to bring in? They will use a model driven because model driven will bring its own AI, which will make up a UI, a flow, and automate. It's configurable to an extent, but still, it's not like Canvas as a blank screen. And the third one is Portal. Now, what is Portal? So, Canvas app and model driven app are more of in tune applications, which will be only working on the intranet. So, those applications will only be working if you have your own company IDs, like at the rate of this.com. For portal, for in a way like external portal, like we use Microsoft Forms for inputting data. Instead of that, you can use Power Apps as a portal. So portal will act like a blank portal for everyone anonymously come in, submit your data. That data can save in your on-prem database or your cloud database. It doesn't matter. But for them, they will come to a Power App as a UI and they will just do the operations. You get one per each tenant, but I think you can keep on increasing with the licensing cost, but one is free with each tenant, which is quite amazing. And I want everybody to go in there and play with that. So I think my SQL would have launched. Here you go. So if you see the SQL, I can just connect the SQL, the database. So if you see on my screen, I can connect to so many databases from Amazon to Apache to Box, Dynamics, Google Drive. Like I guess Microsoft has become quite a global service. Like we have become open source now, and if you know or not, if you saw yesterday's Windows 11 preview launch, it's all open source. We have Android and Apple products all listed in Windows now. I think that's the future. We need to be compatible with every single platform. So if you see, we have Oracle, SQL, Teradata. Just use anything from your backend, what you want, and you can be able to connect to them. Let me remove this. So today, so I was talking. If you have any questions, ask me, totally fine. Or else, when you go to the powerapps.com, you will see this option as learn. It has their own training models. It was not in depth many months before while I was playing around, but I guess now you have a lot of stuff. They have their own community. Just join in. Anybody of us will come in there and answer your doubts if you have any. It's very quick process. So next tab will be apps. You will see all your applications listed here. Then data model, as I was talking about. So if you don't have any other service, hey Manpreet, I don't have SharePoint, I don't have a SQL, they're too expensive to buy. It's fine. Come to the Power Apps portal. If you see here, you can create a new table. Now you don't have to do SQL to create a new table or a database. Just come here, create a new table, name the database, what you want from. You can export that table to an Excel, CSV. Just name it. You have the options. And you have your database and gateways, even your on-prem. If you have something on your in-house on your laptop or on your desktop, just connect it with a gateway. These are called gateways. It's beautiful gateways. I can show you one in the end of the session. Download that gateway and connect it with your own local database. What else do you want? You have a local DB running with no cost if it's just for your personal and for learning. Along with the Power Apps, you get flows, which is flows is just nothing like workflows. I'll talk about that later. And the chatbots, the AI builder, and the solutions. So AI builder is something very different. If I again have some time, I'll come back to that. But right now, I just want to go in and to our first Power App. Super simple. Go to the apps, click on Canvas. So we'll be making a Canvas app. I want something to be from the scratch and show you how it works here. So let's go with it. So if you see the Power Apps, I have two options. I can make a phone layout or a tablet layout. Again, for newcomers who have zero practice on the Power applications, I would always prefer you to go to these templates, go to the tab layout templates. Amazing templates. Okay, some of them are really model-driven apps which people can use it on a day-to-day. Like for example, an asset tracker or a service desk. If I let me zoom in a little. All right. So you can make a service desk here on button clicks, or if you're using onboarding a task model. These are tasks. This is my to-do list. These are the quick resources. Super simple. Just click on it and just click use. It will roll out on its own. Don't have to do much hard work here. Easy. Okay. And but today we are going to do something from the scratch. So I'm not going to use that. I'm just going to leave them. Coming back to the canvas here.
We have a question actually from Cam, which
Yeah.
is well, it's two questions, but how do we register to use Power App, especially to develop Portal, for example?
Oh, all right, super simple. So I would ask everyone to go to developer.microsoft.com. Once you register, they'll give you a free tenant, like zero money, for a year, and they keep on extending it if you say them that you're a developer and you're trying the preview facilities. Just go to developer.microsoft.com and you will be able to sign in. Just go in there, you will have a Power App license by default there.
The next one is a bit more specific. How do we secure a portal so that users log in with a password, for example?
Oh, yes, totally. So again, we are talking about Microsoft. You have all the options here. You can either allow people to sign in with their Facebook or their Gmails. They can sign in and then come into the portal, or they can register with like a normal user login with their email IDs and password and authentication. So it gives you both ways. Either you keep it completely open for everyone or you attach an authentication. And best part is you can allow them to attach those social platforms like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. They can come and log in through them and use your portal. So in a way, you will know these are the real data or real database who are coming in and logging in. More of an application of our social platforms.
Cool.
All right, so we'll be coming to the blank app now. I'm going to create a tablet. So now I'll come back just a step before. So when you will make a SharePoint database, okay, so this is a SQL Friday. I wanted to do something what a SQL developer will do. But if you're a SharePoint developer, you have an easy step to do it. So now when I went to the SharePoint, this is something what it comes like a new form. I don't have to do a SharePoint application here. I can just come in here and try to automate the stuff from here directly. I can inbuild a Power App directly on my SharePoint rather than me making a Power App and connecting to the database. But what happened in business case scenarios is like we people are like working in different serious domains like healthcare and banking and stuff. You don't want your user to know what is your database, right? Because if you attach a SharePoint here with a Power App, everybody will come know, okay, this is SharePoint. I'm gonna come and click on a new button. Instead of this out of the box form, the Power App will load in here. What happens there is like sometime there are security concern. Someday somebody come in and deletes all the permissions or they add in everything in the permission and everybody is able to see every data. Normally it's a big issue for a lot of companies, but so we always avoid, and myself personally I always avoid creating a power app on the SharePoint item because in a way you don't have much control to it. If somebody has access to the SharePoint list, they have access to everything, every single data. So what we do is we make a standalone Power App. So standalone Power Apps nothing but a blank app, a screen which will work individually. So you as a kind of a user, if you are coming to my Power App, you won't know what's my backend. My backend can be anything. It can be an Excel sheet. It can be SQL. It can be SharePoint. You will come, you will do your operations, and you will just leave. That's it. That's secured is Power App. And you won't have any way to know where the data went in the backend. And I like it that way. Because I work for healthcare, life sciences, banking. It's critical for people to not know where my data is being saved. I don't want my people to go and start hitting the SQL Server online and try their hacking abilities. Though there are some of them amazing. I did met a couple of presenters in the last session. They were like amazing hackers. So like I don't want somebody to meddling with my SharePoint online or meddling with SQL, my local DBs. Okay. So I'll come here, you can always create a phone layout or tablet. I always prefer tablet, it's a little bigger, broader. So let me come back to the tablet layout here. All right. So this is the studio. It's beautiful. Don't have to buy anything. Don't have to download anything. No heavy softwares. It loads on your browser, super light. And as I was saying, Canvas, free screen for us. Look, a developer can just show their artistic skills and start drawing in here. So if you see here, it's more of a Word, Excel, which you use, insert button. You can insert multiple screens, label, buttons, input galleries, again, all drop and down. You can view all the data sources. What are the data sources you're going to attach and stuff. Again, if you see a UI, a beautiful UI with not much this way. So even if you have never touched Power Platform, I would always say use right now, just sit back, relax and watch me. But use this recording. I think this is being recorded. It will be up on the SQL Friday YouTube channel, probably, Magnus. And so you can just watch it
Correct.
there
Yeah.
and yeah, okay. And then you can watch it from there and do the same steps. Super simple, and you might do much better than what I will be doing it today. So but I always ask people to just go and play around. You won't destroy anything. Microsoft share value will not go down if you delete something. It's something of your own, and you will love it while you play around with it. So let's start with it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do first is it's super blank. I'm gonna add a label here. Okay, let's give this a heading. So this is my label. If you see, this is a drag and drop. I can put it anywhere, everywhere I love to be. So I'm just gonna put in here. I can stretch it. I'm not writing HTML or CSS to adjust my gallery or adjust my height and width. Nothing. So let's do it SQL Friday. All right, so how do we increase the size in Microsoft Word? We always go to the font, we increase it. Similar way we're doing it here. So you see, nothing did I had to write something, okay, change the font size, make it bold, fill some color in the back end, make this color white. Let's centralize this. There you go. I have a head of a label in some seconds without doing much of a hard work. Now the main question is, I can bring in buttons, I can bring in input galleries, I can place it the way I want it. A text field, a calendar field, super simple. So, for example, I am making a SQL database as a backend. What you will do is you will just use this input parameters or input product and connect them here. Like, okay, so this is the connector. You will be able to connect them to your SQL database, SharePoint, anything. It's that simple. And on a button click, you can do n number of operations. But for us, we are going to use SharePoint because I don't do this takes a little time to match every field in SQL and stuff. I always do SharePoint. So what's the benefit of SharePoint is these are my fields, right? I don't need to add them. How? Super simple. I'm going to add the whole form here in one single click. So more than one single click actually. Let's talk it there, but still click it. So let's come here. This is my site. And I'm gonna come up here. I'm going to the view data sources. So I have zero data sources, but I can connect to so many data sources here, to Office, to Planner, to SQL Server, and there's a list of it. Just imagine all the product from AWS to Adobe to Azure. What do you want to connect? Just use it. If you see that some of them has this diamond, which means it's a premium, you need to buy that license. The cost may vary on the usage. It's not that expensive, trust me. Uh, but we are going to use something free of cost because this is a free community event. And we all love free bit. So we're going to use SharePoint. Here you go. I'm going to use my credentials, don't have to connect again. So I just put my site collection here. It came here. I'm just gonna click on it, and I have a list. I think this is the optimal list. SPS. All right, I create an SPS list. Here you go. I have an SPS list. I will just select that list. So this is my SharePoint site. This is my list. I just connected, and I'm just gonna connect this now. All right. So on the left side, when you see it's green in color, my SharePoint is connected. I have a database here. Now I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna connect a form here. So if you see the two options, edit or display, we'll use the edit form right now. I'm just gonna rephrase a little beautiful nature of it. And if you see connect to data, I'm just gonna click on it, the properties, and on my data source, I see SPS. Takes a second. There you go. All my SharePoint fields directly came to the form. I did not have to add every field one by one and map it, which is again not a time-taking process. Trust me, for SQL and Amazon and stuff. SharePoint is again Microsoft product, so it's easy to compatible. Even SQL is in a way, but it's still easier to connect than me calling or writing a console application and then reaching out to console and then bringing and setting up the data. All right. So this is the field, and let me just show you here one thing. All right. So on the right side, if you see, The data source is connected. You can edit the field. Super simple. In future, if you want to add any field, you can add and remove. Again, so there's a limitation here. For example, in SharePoint, I go and add a new field. It won't come automatically here. It will come up on the search here. So you need to again add it here. That's a limitation. It's not in sync. Then it's similar like Nintex or K2. They are third-party products, so the sync doesn't happen in similar way in Power Apps. So you will come here, you will choose a field, add that field back there, and it will start reflecting. Super simple. And it goes a similar way. If you want to delete something, move the control to the left. I want this field to be top. Just drag and drop. See, I'm not doing any stuff. Just drag and drop. The variation in the backend changes. And you can make the layout change on horizontal or vertical. This is vertical and horizontal, sorry, and this is vertical. I like this. This looks a little tanky. And you have different ways of snapping it. You can make it the one form field, or you can make it in four form field. Like super benefit. I don't have to match the. I don't have to do a column with settings. Nothing. Just doing a drag and drop here. So as I said, you don't need to be a developer to do all this stuff. It's super simple. Okay. So when I go back here, this is my section, my attachments and stuff. So now this is a form. Let's do a preview how my app is gonna look. There you go. SQL Friday. This is the app we'll be using it today. It can be an internet app. It can be a portal app. You choose how you want to make and what you want to make. So this we are making this an internet app. So now this app is here. What do we need? What are we going to do? You will put the input parameter, but where will you submit it? You need a button. Let's add a couple of buttons here. Okay, I'm gonna add a button here, one more button here. So let's name this button as submit. And I need one more button here to cancel it. Okay, two. If you see what am I doing, I'm just renaming those buttons and just clicking them, dropping them, not doing any hard work, which is wrong for a developer. And if any client see that, they will be like, what? You made me an app with so less effort and you're charging me that much? But that's the role, and that's why I'm saying now there are roles for Power App developer, and people are charging them a good amount of money because it's something a talent, right? It's not like you learned it from somewhere and then you start asking them, but it's that quickly. But so just keep it a secret. Don't tell your clients how easy it is to make one. So the app is ready. This is the screen. Okay, now what will happen? Okay, so you will come in here. Let's preview this again. Okay, I submitted data. I put everything. Now what? It won't submit. By renaming the button, of course, it won't. So super simple. I'll come here under the advanced section here, under the on select property. I'm just going to, when I'm submitting the form, submit it. Submit form, and my form name is form 1. That's it. So this is the first line of code which we had to write. Okay. And similar way, while canceling, what do you want to do? Okay. So as I said, when people are on my app, I don't want them to be near my data source. Okay. I'm a bad guy. I don't want them to see my database. So I will ask them if you want to cancel, just cancel the app and go to google.com. That's it. Just use google.com or use your internet site, home site. So if they cancel, they go there. Okay, but if they submit, they go to where? They can actually also go to Google, but I don't want them to go to Google. I want to make it a little nicer screen, okay? So on the submit of the screen, I want them to go to a thank you screen, thank you for submission, so that because some of the people, some of the users, they don't understand. They will be like, did it went through? And they'll keep on doing and repeat the same process again. So we have to tell them, hey guys, it's submitted. Thanks, you have done for the day today. So I will go here. So when you see the screens here, there are so many options. A blank, a scrollable, like if there's a lot of data, make a scrollable one. It will all attach to itself. Or you can make a list, a success screen, email, people, meeting, calendar. Just use split screen. The sidebar, these are new ones. I love them. I like the sidebar one. I can even put a left navigation on my Power App. So my products will be, components will be on the left. I'll have on the header, I'll have a body. That's my favorite sidebar, which I normally uses. And you have portrait printer or landscape print. Again, that's new. There was no facility to no like kind of an, I won't say facility in a way, yes, to even print this form. And it's a disaster, okay, because like in Index and K2, they allow you to print, and the printout comes like so beautiful, even if they have 200 fields in them. On Power App, it will just print the screen, and you're like, you have to print like every screen one after the other. Again, that's a limitation. I'll tell you how to overcome that in my limitation part. But that's what it is. Some things are not well enough, some things are amazing. So this is my screen. So I will be like, okay, once I wanted to go to a success screen. So I'll add a success screen. You can have n number of screens. There's no limitations to that, which is good. So if you see, this is the preview of everything I'm adding. So this is my screen one where I added the app. And these are my button clicks. These are my form. Form is because I'm bringing a SharePoint. If it's a SQL, it will be a table. And all the fields, what I'm using are map in here. So if I have to go to certain field, I'll go there. I can see the property. So title, okay. I can change the name. I can change the connection. I can connect to n number of things. Now, second question. Many people ask me, Manpreet, okay, you did it today with SharePoint. Can I have two data sources? You can have tens of data sources. You can manage 6 data table with 6 SharePoint lists in one app. Like I want to submit one data to SQL and SharePoint. Yes, that's doable. Do both of things. That's the best part of it. Connect to a number of connectors you can connect. You don't have to make a connector for SQL and one for SharePoint. No way. We have apps where we are taking data from SQL, doing some operations in SharePoint, and then again pushing the data back to SQL. It's like that. So that gives us you a very major better hand. So and you see the UI, okay, like doing like data for example, a data feed, SQL database. We can't give access to a lot of people. So what happened in pro generation products or projects? You will ask a DB team to, hey DB team, this is the data. Can you please put it on a database? They will do that and run their code like their console lines, which will read the data from Excel and put it. Why do that? Give them the SharePoint or give them a Power App. Everyone can just do a feed. It will just start saving the rows of data. Super simple. So now my form has a screen, but okay, how do I know like on the summit my screen has to go? Again, super simple process. I'll go to the form one here. So this is the form one. So it has buttons again. On failure, what should happen? So on failure, I can make a screen that, hey, you have not submitted properly. Go back and submit it again. For my success, I'm gonna put, okay, you have like navigated it properly. Okay, let's go back. Once you're done, I will notify you that yes, you have done properly. I'm gonna navigate you. Okay, I'm gonna navigate you to. All right, let me navigate to screen two. And I can put a transition. Just for decoration, it's actually not required. You just make it look a little nicer. So transitioning with the slides which we use in PowerPoints, it's the same thing. Sliding, fading, and all those stuff. I'll just put a cover, just take a cover. That's it. So on success, whenever the form will submit a success, like all the mandatory fields got submitted, it will come to the screen here, screen two, that this was successfully completed. Now I can put the same cancel button, okay, right? I don't want people to go in. What should I do here? I'll go back. I don't want to write it again, like launch google.com. Just copy it. I'll gonna copy it, gonna come to the screen too and paste it here. Perfect. And the best part is I'll change this name to close. Here you go. So what happened here is people will come here, just submit, they'll click on close and they're out of the app. They come to the app, they go out of the app. No operations required for them to know my database, my sources, my workflows, nothing. App is ready. Perfect. Trust me, the app is ready. I don't have to do anything. If this is a new form, I will come in here. Let's create a theme SQL Friday. Okay, I'll click on save. You can save it to your local until you're playing around, but just do it in the cloud. It doesn't take any score or something, and you don't have to pay. That's it. The app is done. How much time you do? I think 14 to 16 minutes. But I'll show you something operations here, and I can just start sharing with people. And hey guys, I made an app. Start using it. You can explore it for the whole company wide if you want to do it. It's that simple, and it's loading. And a simpler way how we do, just add the name of the email ID, or you can just do everyone. Just uncheck this option, the email shit. It goes to everyone actually, and just send it to everyone. Simple, okay? I'll come back to this, but so going to my back to my app, okay? Now you will say, okay, Manpreet, this is perfect. So now what will happen? Somebody is gonna come in and save the data, but if I want to edit, now that's the major part. Okay, now what happened in our cases is so somebody submits the data. Okay, they go back to Google, for example. They don't know where they submitted. The data gets submitted in SQL. SQL, we have a flow in the backend which will run SQL or SharePoint. The flow will trigger whenever a new row is created or whenever a new item is created. Send an email to the admin team. So the admin team will receive an email. Okay, I will receive an email. Hey, this and this person submitted something. Have a check and approve or decline. I can even approve or decline. So for
There is a
that part,
question here.
yes, please.
There is a question here about sharing. Can you share it with external people outside of your tenant or
All
outside of
right.
your organization?
Okay. So perfect. So this Canvas app, no, but the portal app where you can do the similar operations, you can share it with every person. Every one tenant will get one external app for free, of course.
All right.
How I
Cool.
answer?
There is another one from Jan, and it's about, well, it's actually two questions. One is about performance. What's the performance and other limitations in records when you connect to SharePoint? And the other
Well,
one is, how do you deal with the 2,000 item limit in Power Apps?
all right. All right. So first of all, there are no limitations on the backend. Okay. You keep on submitting the limitations on the SQL side, how many rows of data they're accepting. On the SharePoint side, they have a 5,000 limit for the threshold. Don't have to worry. Keep on submitting. There's no limitation for submitting the data. Now the limitation of seeing the data of 2,000 is on the Power App for viewing it. Don't put it. We never put 2,000 data to view it. It's madness. Okay. I'll show
Yeah.
you. What we do there is we use something called as gallery. So I'm just gonna go out of my session now. I'm just gonna show you this. Okay. So this is called something as gallery. Okay. You have vertical, horizontal, flexible, height and stuff, etc. etc. Let me bring in here one for a quick demo. Okay. So this is the gallery. The limitation of Power App is on this gallery, you see 1, 2, 3, 4. You can have 2,000 record. Okay. But in my experience in past 5 years with Power Apps, I guess, never did I did. Why? Why will you put 2,000 items to scroll? Because nobody will do that. Okay. What you will gonna do is you're gonna filter, right? You're gonna search something. So put this gallery. Okay, I'll put it somewhere like just like here. And what I do normally is I insert a text box here. Sorry, so I went it inside, I dropped it. Let me go back. All right. So what I do is I normally put a input text field here with a search. On the search, I current my gallery. So when you search that item, those items will only come in. And those are never 2,000 because I know what I'm searching for. So that item, what I'm searching for, comes up in my gallery. And So the gallery is connected in the backend to 10,000 items, but it will show exactly the item I'm looking for. So that limitation of 2,000 just goes away right there, right? Because you won't be scrolling 2,000 records, it's too much. So just attach this input field with your connector. That's a simple. And then you will be searching that file and the parameter. And then when you click on that file, you can edit it, view it, and stuff. That's the way of handling those that limitation. Very good question. I love that.
Thank you.
All right, so let's go back. I'm gonna delete the category on. Okay, thank you, input field. All right, so I was talking about how is gonna I'm gonna update this. Okay, right now, if you see my form, if I go back to the properties here, oh, yes. Okay, so right now my form default mode is new. So now if you use this form, this is perfectly ready. My Power App is ready. You can just play around, send to hundreds of people. They will start submitting new record. But I want somebody to actually edit it also. Like I, as an admin, I want to go and approve it or want to attach some attachments or do something, some operations. So there again, you write a line of code. Super simple line of code. Doesn't take much time. I have kept it here with me because I don't want to put some time while on the demo to write it down. So what I'll do is I'll go to the advanced section here. And so right now, if you see my default mode is form mode new, I'm gonna just replace it with this. Let me just replace them and then I'll talk about them. And I'm gonna replace the item level also with. Okay. All right. So what I did here was here. So in the default mode, if my parameter ID, which is greater than 0, okay. For example, SharePoint field or SQL field will have a data ID field which gets saved with every row of data. So what will my app go as? App is a little intelligent now, okay. App will check if I'm clicking on a field and opening the app, which means that a value of ID is always greater than 0. Open the form in edit mode. If that form which when I'm clicking it doesn't have an ID, open that form as new. I'll show you how the app opens. It opens with an ID. So there's a value always ID equal to this. So if ID is always greater than 0, it will automatically open a new form. If it's less than 0, it will open the edit form. Same thing here on an item level. So that's item level. Whenever it's just gonna do the filter and use that particular ID and open that ID. So what will happen is, as I was talking about the 2,000 items, I don't want to open 2,000 items. I can just open that particular item. I'm filtering here based on ID. You can filter there based on the title, the body, whatever you want to search it. This is the only two line of code which I write on the portal apps. But if you're making an app on the SharePoint layer, you don't even have to write this because the SharePoint new form, edit form, those same button clicks will work the similar way and it will launch Power Apps. Cool. So now I'll come back here. I'll click on File, Save, and Publish. That's it. App is done. App is end-to-end done. You want to check it out? Let's go. So I go back here. I see under the app SQL Friday demo created 1 minute ago, modified. So here are the details. Okay, let's go back to the details for a quick minute. So this is the link of my app. I can put this link on any place on my internet page, home page, site page, wherever you want to put. I can put it on the themes. You can even add the app to the themes directly. Your people, your product by people, the users won't even know. They will just come to the teams, do this operation directly on the Microsoft Teams. They don't have to go out or click on some other product. So this link, which I'm going to click right now, it's compatible on all devices, all browsers. If you see, I'm using IE, which nobody likes it, but I don't know. I love Edge browsers nowadays. I'm in love with them. And so the app opens up and it's opening. There you go. Just on the click, the app is ready with all the fields which I wanted to be there. I did not do a single write of coding. So simple was if and loop. I don't call them coding compared to all the colors and coding and column div. I hated those div and tables. Like you will lose a tag and you will be like just bugging your whole Visual Studio. Where is the tag did I miss? I didn't have to do it. And and this gives you versioning, okay? The number of times I version, for example, you any of the us new developers, okay, we power out developers, we are new to this field and we might do changes and we might like do something wrong. You can always go back and restore the old one. Perfect, okay. Do not delete it. I don't know why they gave that button, but you can restore that. You can see all the connections I've been using right now. We're just using SharePoint, but you can use multiple ones. Okay. And the flows right now, there are no flows. You're going to do that. And you can see an analytics is in preview, but it's still working. You see how many people have used the Power Apps in this many days and stuff like that. All right. So here's my app, and I'm happy. Let's go do something on it. So hashtag SQL Friday. Yeah. On technology interested, I should have added SQL there. Sorry for that. I'm gonna use Cognizant. Role, I'm an architect. If I don't want to put any attachments, I can choose not to. Click on submit. So as a dead UI user who don't know technology, I came in here and I see this message, this was successfully completed. Oh gosh, I did my job of today. Let's go home. And I click on close. I went to google.com. So as me as a user, I don't know what happened. Me as an hacker will be, oh my God, where did I save my data? Which is a question, okay? So we are like giving back to the hacker, guys, you don't know where my data is. It can be anywhere, SQL, SharePoint. So I just came here and they went to Google, happy, everyone is happy. In my backend, the process, it got saved here. SQL Friday, the data, everything is here. What did I see from here? I did not do anything. The data just come in here on the proper alignment, and it similar way in the SQL, it just keeps on adding the rows, no limitation. Just keeps on adding the data field. Start sharing with the company. Super simple way to do that. Again, you come in here to the app here, you click on the share, you can share it. Now you want to add to the teams, you add to your Microsoft Teams. Just tell which teams you want to add, like click on add to teams. You can download the app and upload it and or you can just use the UI, the share link, which is much more easier. And you can monitor the app. Of course, there's no performance issue. I think in my history of with working on Power Apps with Microsoft, it has been twice. Once was the longest. I think it was done for an hour or something on North America region. Uh, but it was never and the second time it was slow because of something they were trying to put a patch on business hours, which is again Microsoft, they do that sometimes. And that's it. There was never a glitch. The app is always up. They're always running. There was never an issue with the Power App. So performance, we don't have to worry. I don't want to go and check my SQL Server databases or my load balancers and stuff like that. It's always up and running. Nothing to worry because we are on the cloud. Okay, and then as I said, you can just go and share the app with people. You a super simple way to do it, and you can edit the app again. Okay, so this is the Power App. Okay, now I was talking about the edit functionality of it. Okay, so right now when I will go to the SharePoint and I will click on edit, it's gonna open an out of the box form, which is fair because we did not make a overlap form on SharePoint because I don't want them to come to SharePoint. So now what will happen is, okay, now, people initially, like I remember those days when I joined a team and I was like, hey guys, they like to like. So what they were doing was they were doing the same stuff. They were coming, taking the input from there, and they were asking the admin team to come to SharePoint and edit that particular item and use the out of the box form. Trust me, this was nothing there because that time there was no guideline, there was no article on Power App. I think I wrote around 40 to 45 articles because I found it so interesting. Nothing was on the web, so it's much more amazing. Let's go and write something about Power. What I found out was Power App, this ID, is super easy. Okay, so if you see, this is the ID field, 22 number. Okay, let's see that. Okay, just have a notice on that. So what I started doing was again, it was a limitation and how we changed it. Okay. And Still now, I don't know, like people always suggest you to not do this app because of this feature. Okay, why? Because they feel you'll have to do one step extra. If you make a SharePoint normal attach Power App and you click on edit, it'll open up edit screen and you do all your that Power App will, the whole Power App will load in here. Okay, it'll look the same UI. Uh, but as I said, for me, my healthcare life sciences product companies, they don't want it, so they're happy what different I did. So I use an ID here. Okay, this is the ID 22. Let's go back here. So on the Power App, okay, this is the link of my Power App. Let's open up that. Okay, and I'm just gonna create a notepad to just show it to you how I do it. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I brought mine here. Okay, I'm gonna remove the tenant ID. So if I remove tenant ID, it's not required to be there. This is the Power App ID. I don't even need that question mark. Okay, so this is a link. Wherever you put that, please don't start hacking my screen now. But wherever you put that, that will work as an internet app for you. So what I was just playing around was there is a way you can pass the variables on the web directly. Okay, so not only ID, I can pass I can just put an add signal. I can start putting variables like that. Like we used to do in web services once upon a time. Uh, Pass all the parameters in the web service, push the data, it goes and we can use the data on JavaScript. Similar way, it gives the same benefit. So when I use this and I went with an ID here, what happened was amazing. I went to the edit screen of that particular ID. So what we started doing is, okay, we started giving them an edit form. We started giving them a view form. I can just put and form mode equal to display and form mode equal to edit. Here you go. I have an edit form, title, technology, company, role. So me as an admin, what I have to do for them is whenever a form is get submitted, send them an email with this link, which is again attached to the ID. ID because I will know it from my SQL or from my SharePoint. And when I went there, they will be super simple for them. They will get a notification in Teams, they will get an email, they will just click on that link and they will be here. Super simple. So, okay, so this is the trick. Okay, so now we came in here. I am over the time because Magnus told me you are the last speaker. There's nobody here. Just take your time, and I love to do that. So okay, I'll go a
No
little.
worries, no worries.
So I'll go a little forward with that. Okay, let's go back to the flow now. Okay, this is Power Apps. Okay, this is how neatly, easily the Power App can be done. And I would say everyone just go around, just play with it. Use the license, free license. Just try to build something. Now flow. Okay, so in our time, I won't say our time. I'm not that old. I'm still young. We had SharePoint Designer, SPD's workflows. I still love them. They were so simple. They know what we have to do. But it was always attached to SharePoint because in the name SPD, SharePoint Designer, was only for SharePoint Designer workflow. Flow is more of a new product, okay, and it's a product for not only SharePoint people or me as developers of Office 365. This is a product for other products like AWS and Adobe and stuff like that. Anybody can use wherever they require a workflow, they can use this. It's more they have grown this to a very powerful engine. They never thought that a flow will be that much. I think that's why they have changed the name to automate anything, any technology, any stuff. The flow came as a workflow between your services or between your apps to do a lot of operations, just not to send an email or do an update in SharePoint, which was in SPD workflows. This has to do a lot of things. And you can connect them to Azure Logic apps. You can connect them to a lot of different models, modules, n number. And if you see here, there are so many already predefined facilities list of it. Like, don't have to do anything from the scratch. Like, just search for SharePoint and you will find all this up there. And this list is in thousands. And we're gonna see that right now. And what you require here to do is just four things. First thing is the trigger. Okay. What will trigger a output? Like for in our case, whenever a new item is created, trigger. That's our trigger for us. Now we require is a connection. Okay, whenever a new item is created, now what? Then connect to the service, like send an email or do this or something. That's my action. So connect to an Outlook, use an action, send an email, and for that I have a number of templates. Don't have to do something from the scratch. Good, right? So quickly we'll go to a quick demo here. So let me launch in here, come back to the flows. And again, you can also go to flow.microsoft.com if you just want to show or work with Power Apps. But you can just come in here and search for flows on the same Power App Designer mode. It's launching. Or easiest way, you also can do it on your SharePoint. If I go back here, and there's an option here, automate. Just click on, you can create a rule here, you can integrate a Power App, you can integrate a Power Automate. So this I can do from here because in the backend is where we're gonna write an SPD. Power App has nothing to do here. So I'm gonna, okay, let's create a new flow. So if I create a new flow, I get a number of options. Send a customized email when a new SharePoint list item is added. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, super simple. And there, if you see, there are a number of them like that. And I want to tell that there are so many templates. So let's do that quickly. I'm just gonna show how easy it is to configure stuff here and there. So I'm connecting to SharePoint. I'm connected to Office 365 because that's my on-prem. But you can use, if you have an Outlook on-prem, you can use that. Gmail, yes, you can use that. Yahoo, MSN, RocketMail.com. I recently saw one of our users using RocketMail, and it actually worked on their RocketMail IDs also. So super simple. I got connected here to Office, Outlook, SharePoint because my everything is in cloud. I come in here, I create a flow. So if you see, my hands are less on the keyboard or more on the mouse pad because everything is clickable nowadays. It's drag and drop. All right, so this is an email. So I will create an edit. Let's edit this form. I just want to showcase you. So this is the flow, how it opens. When a new item is created, it's my trigger. My list is there. So whenever a new item will get created in this list, it will use like a trigger. Take my profile. Again, that's not even required. That's just taking because it's the default one. I can delete it and send an email. New item added. Super simple. And you can do show advanced. You can put from email, CC, BCC, push in the attachments, reply to, make the importance level. So many operations of all Outlook operations. Super simple. Click on save. That's it. The green color shows my flow is ready. Best part here is, let's go here, okay. I want to add another action, okay, and see the actions, okay. Like there is no limitations of what you want to do and where you want to do it. Like it just goes endless. Even a drop down begins keep on smalling. I can do something on Excel, Outlook, SharePoint, Adobe. Like I can convert a PDF to Word or something like that. These are all premium connectors. If you see, I can book a new appointment based on the booking app. Just keeps on growing is that much the condition. And the triggers, you can have n number of triggers when a power app is working, when an item is modified or created, when a file is updated or created. So just use them, keep on working with them, and then you go. So when now on my power app, let me come back quickly. I'll just do a quick play. I'll try to submit something again. I will get an email. Okay, none of them is mandatory. I click on dev test. I should get an email. But let me go back to the deck here. So if you see the flow, the power app, they have made life simpler. And I said there's a new role of power app developer, which we are hiring. Now I've been interviewing like a number. And again, if you are interested to be a power app developer, or if you have some skills you want to join, please reach out to me. There are roles there in the market which will help you, stuff like that. So let's quickly talk about the limitations on which is not good for any product, but they're always there. And especially like I think I got my email also. Let me quickly show that to you. Okay, my Outlook is closed. Like open, while it's opening, I'll talk about this. So first thing first, in Power App is not a replacement of InfoPath. And this is something which you have to explain your client while you're working with the requirement analysis, because InfoPath is something very, very creative. Okay, like you can go very in depth. You can even write a VBA script and stuff like that. Here, no, you can't even write a JavaScript line. No. All right. So let me quickly show email which I received. This is a blank email which I received from the flow. Whenever a new item is created, I can edit all the stuff. I can change the body. I can make it reframe. I can even add a adaptive card here. Trust, nice, right? The adaptive card is so beautiful it looks. So you can do all these parameters here on the floor. So when I come here, as I said, not a replacement of info part form. Second, all the radio boxes and check boxes you use in SharePoint, that doesn't work in Power Apps. So what happened to them? They don't get deleted, or you can still use them, but it comes like a drop down. You can have a multi-select drop down or a drop down. So still, many people ask us, hey, Manpreet, no, I want my checkbox. Now you can't tell, hey, my Power App is having a limitation. So what you do is you go back to your app. Let me go back quickly. All right, so you go back to your app, you insert an input parameter like a checkbox here. There you go. You add these checkboxes and then you map them to the drop down of that whatever field is gonna come because of Power App. Though you created a checkbox field or a radio button field in SharePoint, it will still come as a drop down in Power App. So now what we do is we hide that field and we put this field on the top and we map these fields to them. So the business unit or the client, they don't know what they will still be happy. Oh, you gave me my checkbox. They don't know how much shit we had to do in the backend. But again, that's our job to keep them happy. So I'll go back here to the deck. I always lose my deck here. Okay. All right. So that's there. Third limitation is only 13 lookups can be used. Lookups in a way is like people picker fields, or I should say, so lookup doesn't mean only cross-site lookup, like cross list lookup. It also means people picker fields, like the normal use of it. Or you can use only 13 of them. If you cross 13, you start getting error on the Power App, which is a little tangy. You will say 13 is a lot. No, sometimes, for example, in one of our projects, we wanted to send like whenever a new item is created, it sends an email to like 7 people for approvals. So there are 7 already, and there were already some fields. It made it 30, and the lookups are all over. So then you'll have to do some limitations, start removing some lookups. Ask the business, can I remove this? Can I remove this? Like that. So that's how you can get over of lookups. And as I said, you can't use JavaScript jQuery. No. Printing functionality they brought in now is still not that way you wanted, but still good enough. What we used to do is we will tell the client, okay, don't worry about the print functionality. We will create a flow, a workflow with a body, which the form will look almost because you can edit the flow with HTML. Okay, so we'll make an HTML which will look like a form and put all the data parameters there, and then they will receive that form in an email. So that email they can print out, and that email will come as a proper form for them to keep it. So that's the way again to overcome the limitation. Flows gives you every single account will get 250 flows per single users can create that. That's a lot. Nobody creates 250. I think even my dev account, I have never created more than 250 workflows. It's a lot. Okay, so you will never reach that. Best part of it, if you reached, okay, you are a pro developer and you do reach 250, just email Microsoft. They will by default increase your limit to 500 for free of course. They won't even ask you anything. They will just ask you increase it to 500. So that's the best thing. Now 5,000, like somebody asked me in the limitation, right? 5,000 item in SharePoint. It's okay. We have for each loop. We always had a for each loop. Just start to break those based on ID. For each ID 1 to 5,000, just break them while you're crawling some data. In that way, you have 30,000 data or 3 lakh data. It will take a second more, but it will loop every single data. But so there is a limitation. Okay, but it can be overcome. Okay, now the workflow run duration of 30 days. Now this is the worst part of it. Trust me when I say that, because what will happen is when you create an SPD, you had an option to pause it for years and years until a lifetime, or until somebody comes and do an IS reset or removes all the workflows. But flows are only stopped till 30 days. Okay, so it can be only paused till 30 days, or it can only be variated for like just the sessions. So for example, I am Magnus are working, and I sent something for Magnus approval, and Magnus has gone to Miami for partying in the beach with his family. Okay, and he extended his leave for to more than 30 days, and my approval email will just die off. So when he will come back, he will see my email, he will click on it, and it won't do anything because the 30 days was over and my flow was stopped. So again, I'll have to go back and, hey, Magnus, can you please approve this again? So he will have to approve it again. Again, there's another way to do this. You can always re-trigger it. So when Magnus came in and he clicked on an email, he can re-trigger his own email and approve or decline my approval. Then no, Manpreet, you cannot go to Las Vegas, so I'm declining it. So he will decline it. So that's the way. But the 30 days is a major part. It happens with leadership. Sometimes they're out for travel and they're not able to update it. There are ways. What we do sometimes we just go and run it manually. You can run that workflow manually, or just put a re-trigger there and it will re-trigger the same event again. All right.
But
And to up
will it re-trigger the event from the start of it, or will it be able, let's say you
no,
have 4 approvals to pick up and 2 of them are done and the third one is gone. Will it start from the beginning again if you re-trigger it?
right. That's a good question, man. So what we do is we check the status. We always mark
Mm,
it status. Approval 1 finished, approval 2 finished. So it will go and check every status. Okay, 1, 2 is finished. It will directly go to the third one. So it's like
yeah.
that. Yeah. So Magnus, I think I am good. Sessions. Any questions do you see there?
There is one more. What does the new print function do?
Okay. So the print function is the same. Microsoft, let me go back quickly to the slide here. All right. So here, the print functionality, you just saw the screens. There is something called as portrait print and landscape print. So when I add it here, let me add this printout here. All right. So this is a screen which comes in. You can just drag and drop the labels you want here, design it in a way, and this print button, when you will click it, it will print out. Simple.
Okay. So, but I guess, I mean, if you have the data source, you have saved the values, you could just use any reporting tool, which
Right.
is
Yeah. Of
better
course.
than this one to create a
Right.
beautiful report.
Yes, exactly. You can use that. But yeah, but for us, like legal team, they would just want to print out something and they'll just print it out and done. Thank you. They don't have to wait. Before this was not there. So this is something new which came up and so helpful it is. Trust me, before if I have to print, just like I'll have to do a print screen like normal, I do it on the browser, like print like that. It will only
Mm,
come whatever I want to print on the screen. It won't come which is scrollable like another 200 feet. So that was the worst part of it.
mm. Yeah, and I had some thought when you talked about the 2000 limitation. I guess if you really need to do a lot of numbers and so on screen, well, then you always have Power BI for it instead. So
Right?
I think just use the right tool for the right business
Exactly.
problem, I guess.
So true. Yes, that's how it is. Yes. Because we need to be a little smarter because the app cannot do everything for us. Yes, it can do like 90% of it. The 10% always remains behind.
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's the good thing for us as consultants,
Right.
because if we know how to solve the other 10% for the customer, that's what they pay us for. So
Exactly. That was my thing. That's the challenge if we have it. Or else they will start building their own apps.
true.
Oh, right.
So thank you there are no more questions as I can see.
All
So
right. Thank you,
I love the
Magnus.
presentation. I love that it was demos, more or less all the way. So
Oh, thank you, Magnus.
very, very good way to end the season.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I love them also. Yes, you can find me on my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever, like with the same Manpreet here, it's same everywhere. And we do also a lot of conferences. We are hosting next one. We do Toronto user group and Microsoft Philadelphia, New York, New Jersey. I am one of the hosts for that. We keep on hosting and people can just come in there if they have any interest on certain topics. And Magnus, we would invite you to come once and speak for our sessions one day, and whenever
Yeah,
you're available.
I would love to.
Yes. Yeah. So thank you, Magnus, for having me here. It's amazing morning. I see my sunrise coming up here. I think I need a coffee now.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for standing up so early in the morning for us.
No, that's fine. I love to come in the early morning. Thank you.
But I think we span the whole globe now. We have had people from Texas. We have had you from Toronto. We had Joseph connecting from New York, and we have had people presenting from India. So I think we're still missing like New Zealand, Australia, but let's see next season.
Perfect. When are you starting the next season? Like last announcement today by Magnus.
It's going to be in. So I can't remember the date exactly, but it's sometime in August is when I kick off the next season. The call for speakers is open. So if you look in the chat, there is a link to the call for speakers. So if you're interested in presenting, just go ahead and enter a session abstract. I will narrow it down a little bit for the next season, so it will be SQL Server only. Because it was so hard to do session selection when it was so wide. I'll try that for one season and see.
Okay, all the best for that, Magnus, and thank you for having me here today.
Thank you. And before I disconnect, I'm just going to say that if you go to live.csharpcorner.com right now, there is an ongoing virtual conference which is called Women in Data Summit, I think it is. So it's women in the data community who are presenting all day. So it's a live event streamed to YouTube. So go to C Sharp Corner and check it out. There are some amazing speakers coming up during the day today. So that will be the end of it. Thank you so much for coming, Manpreet. I hope to see you soon.
Same here. Take care. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Be safe. Bye-bye.